We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Norris, George Russell and Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Albon, Joe and Kevin Magnussen. Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly and Sir Lewis Hamilton and Vettel. Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll, Latifi and Phoenix. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once more by Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to talk to you about Carlos Sainz. That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can. And they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points. Five lights on, ahead of the drivers, it's lights out and away we go. They weren't held for long. Alonso, then Sainz, then comes Hamilton, Magnussen round the outside of him, Mick Schumacher under pressure already from Esteban Ocon in the other Alpine. George Russell just behind those two. As into the first chicane we go, and Hamilton wheel to wheel there with Kevin Magnussen just getting ahead outside of the chicane.
Magnussen had a tremendous start for Haas there, but all clean then.
Mate, no power, no power.
Yep. Mode 1.
Mate, really.
And will Verstappen now be passed? Yes, he has been! And he's been passed by Hamilton!
Pit lane, strap 12 in pit lane.
And then comes Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, and he's still waiting. Is Max Verstappen? What is happening down at Red Bull? The kings of the sub-2 second pit stop. They'll be lucky if that's sub-10 seconds. No, 11 seconds on the grid for Max Verstappen. No, he's not. And there's Max Verstappen right behind Hamilton into the first chicane once again. It's wheel to wheel. Verstappen's challenging, and they touch! Verstappen spins round, and in their desperation to stay ahead and to get ahead, have taken each other out of the Italian Grand Prix. Did Verstappen have enough space in the initial part of that chicane? And then did he try and get a bit cheeky in the second part?
Max hasn't done anything wrong there.
He hits the sausage curb as well. That's what throws him back into the path of Lewis.
What a bizarre incident. Absolutely bizarre. Trying to get out of there, look.
That's what you get when you don't leave the space.
So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
As today's winners make their way up the podium steps, the folks at Alpine have shown once again just what it takes to build a successful Formula One team. A well-deserved win for them. Fernando Alonso back Formula One. Welcome back, Fernando. He comes home. That is a brilliant result for him and for the Alpine team.